Preparing.
So go up on the upper left-hand corner, you should see a thing that says live, and it says on YouTube. And if you keep that arrow down button, it'll take you right to his channel.
Perfect. Thanks, man. Go to view stream on YouTube, obviously.
Live.
Well, we're in speaker mode, buddy, because we're flipping back and forth, so you got to change it.
I'm trying right here.
There we go. I switched everything over. Awesome. All right, can everyone hear us? We are live. Welcome, everyone. Tyler Wood Bushcraft here, and we're on a very special episode of the Bushcraft Podcast, Season 2, Episode 3. We are hanging out with Joe Robinet, the one, the only, the king, the legend of Bushcraft.
Hey, folks.
So yeah, we were just kind of talking, and we want to know, especially, you know, since Joe has such a huge channel and, you know, the amount of comments and stuff that he gets on a regular basis, it's hard for him to kind of get back and talk with everybody. So tonight would be your guys' night to kind of ask some questions that you guys want some answers to as we kind of, you know, talk, hang out, all things bushcraft related. My question for you, Joe, I know you kind of talked about it on your latest video today, how you guys are dealing with the whole coronavirus.
Yeah, we're sorry, let me get back to you here. We're just basically holed up, like nothing's really changed too much compared to what we normally do, right? Like we don't live near people. We have neighbors, but we don't really interact. It's not like a normal neighborhood community. They're few and far between. They're a bit older. I've had stuff in my house for quite some time now. So I did drive down and got my mother-in-law and my two nieces, like I said in the video before it got too crazy. And I'm glad I did, because right now, like, things are just getting worse by the minute. You know what I mean? People are getting crazier, not too crazy yet, but the rules are getting crazy. The laws are getting crazy. And the Prime Minister, Justin Trudeau, today, dum-dum, freaking says that it's almost going to be enforced now. Like that's the next step to being having to be quarantined stayed in. And I don't disagree with that. You know what I mean? People are taking this lightly, and they have been from the get-go. And I was kind of always under the impression that maybe that this is a little bit more serious than originally thought. Listening to guys like Wrangler Star on YouTube and things like that just kind of got me thinking early on. And anyways, I don't think anything against it. I don't think anything that I think they should enforce it, because people aren't listening to it, and asking people politely and saying sorry and please just doesn't work in these days, this time.
Yeah. I mean, certain people are reacting in certain ways. You know, stores are selling out of toilet paper and meats and stuff like that. I think the scariest thing that really kind of set me in was the fact that you were talking about doing 10-minute uploads. And anyone that knows Joe and knows his channel, how long his videos are, that's the sign to start being scared, is when Joe's doing 10-minute videos. Because
well, that I just can't get into upload. That's the problem. And I had some people. So since I put up that video, I've had some good ideas on how to still upload what I need to upload. And then also some people offering people who live in the city near me offering me to go park in their driveway, and then them give me their code, and I'll just sit in my driveway in my car and do it type thing. And that will work, and I'll be able to do that. But in order to supplement that, I still will be doing these 10-minute things. You're right. When was the last time I did a 10-minute video? You know what I mean? Like
4 or 5 years ago, maybe.
And you liken that to that, and I liken it to Tim Hortons. Do you guys have Tim Hortons or no?
No.
Where you are? So Tim Hortons is like a Starbucks, but it's like a very, very Canadian thing, right? Everyone, Canada, there's like a million in every little town. They just closed Tim Hortons or whatever, so now I'm likening it to that. Like, it's the same as me putting up 10-minute videos.
They actually are going to lock us down tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. We're actually at a stay-at-home order now, so it's going to get pretty hairy around here too.
Yeah,
yes, sir. Yep, exactly. It's crazy, man. Crazy.
Well, you see, there's kind of like a thing, like, you know, we was talking on the phone about a week ago. We were talking about kind of like, you know, kind of bushcrafter, outdoor men. We're all kind of the same. We kind of like to stay away from people, kind of do our own thing out there. So, I mean, it's kind of like, you know, we were kind of in the middle of doing all this to begin with, as far as like social distancing and stuff like that.
Well, guys, right now, if you're in the chat, welcome to the Bushcraft Podcast. Make sure you're sharing this out, and don't forget to hit the thumbs up. And now's your time to ask Joel all them questions you've been waiting to ask.
Yeah, I'm gonna hold back the 3 or 4 notebooks I have so you guys can get your questions in. But no, it was sad. I was so ready to come to Canoecopia this year, and then with them shutting down and stuff. I mean, I can't imagine like all the vendors and stuff that were traveling, especially like with you and Swift Canoe and stuff too. I mean, did they already have their booth out there, or?
Dude, so I'm about an 8-hour drive from Madison, Wisconsin, and those guys are an extra about 6 hours south of me, and they had to drive right by my place, right? So imagine that, like 14-ish hour, 12-ish hour drive to get there, right? And then they set up, and I bail on them that morning because like I had heard about the NBA, the NHL, all that stuff, the borders potentially getting closed. I'm like, I'm not getting stuck over there. I'm not just potentially shaking 1,000 people's hand. It just wasn't a smart idea. And I couldn't believe that they didn't shut it down. I was unimpressed that they didn't shut it down. And then later on that day, so they get there, they set up, they have a meeting, we have to shut down, they have to tear down and haul ass back across the border before anything happened.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah. So he was like, sorry, go ahead.
I would say
go ahead.
It is one of the biggest like outdoor events too, and at least in the U.S. that I'm aware of.
Yeah, it's like the biggest canoe.
Crazy.
Yeah, it's like the biggest canoe event, I guess, going, right? And like, yeah, I wanted to go too, man. I was all hyped up. We worked out a big presentation, better than last year's. This was all about my my Stranded series and how to prepare for things like that. And we had it all worked out. My new boat was going to be there. I was excited to meet people. It wasn't worth it, obviously. And then like the governor shut it down. You know what I mean? They legally couldn't have had it go regardless. So.
Right. Now, during your Stranded series, like on a scale of like, especially like after the day after you guys were supposed to leave, I mean, when did you really start getting like worried to the point where you're kind of like going into like a survival mode?
Like 2 days after we were supposed to be gone, like probably the day before we got picked up, it was like really run out of food. Like ate our last little bit of eggs or whatever the heck it was that morning. It had like 1 pack of oatmeal and a little baby, those little baby Snickers, a couple of those left, and that was it. And it was like, okay. But in the same respect, I went out, and so our energy is depleted, right? Our energy from being physically and mentally just drained, right? Of just not knowing what's happening, when it's going to go on, when we're going to leave, anything like that. That said, I hopped in the canoe and got 2 walleye and a pike, or I got a pike off the shore and 2 walleye within 10 minutes. You know what I mean? So it was never really a concern. It was just more of like a mental mind screw with us, because we didn't know anything. We were done. You know what I mean? We're done.
Right. Yeah. Especially after you're being gone for so long too. Like one of my biggest challenges too, like, when I went out for that 7-day survival challenge, being away from family, after like the 5th, 6th day, like it really gets to you. And then, when you got your hopes set, that's the big thing too, is like when you have your mind set, like, okay, this is the day we're leaving, and it turns out that it's not, it's just like, it hits pretty hard.
That's the thing. And you know what? It was only 10 days. We had food, we had each other, we had all the supplies in the world. It was just the unknown. It was okay, is this forest fire going to pick back up? We sat under a tarp with hail the size of a marble for half a day, one of the days. You know what I mean? Things happened that wasn't ideal, but in all reality, everything was fine. It just goes to show you that like when you're done, you're done. Yeah, it's just the unknown. I want to go home. And Kyle and I have both been on extended trips before too, where it's like we're used to being away from our family and stuff. But like you're saying, once you start thinking about that, it's hard to switch your mind off of it for sure.
Right. Yeah, and that kind of brings up the whole alone thing too. Is so many people have went out there and ended up leaving within the first day to the first week, but people don't realize that the whole process of being on alone, going up to New York for your boot camp. And then, it's like another week after until the cameras start rolling. So, I mean, a lot of the contestants that go on that show are gone for like 2 to 3 weeks before they even start filming, you know, and then by the first, second, third day someone leaves, everyone's just like, well, he was only lasted 3 days, when they don't realize, you know, everything else that kind of took place behind it.
Yeah, it's a lot, man. There's a lot behind the scenes, especially the season I was on. You know, we were the guinea pigs. We didn't even go to New York beforehand. We went to New York like a month or two beforehand. It wasn't even at the same shot, right?
Wow.
But then we were in Quatsino Sound on the island for like 2 weeks beforehand, just getting ready, and it was like late October. Like it was just crazy, man. When I tapped, I thought like everybody, I thought 9 other guys were sitting there pretty still, you know, sitting pretty with fires going, everything was fine. Little did I know, like what, 2 or 3 people had already tapped by then, but.
Right, exactly. I mean, like you said, you guys were the first ones out there, the first ones to go do it. So, I mean, had, you know, being on the 3rd or 4th, 5th, 6th season, at least people have that idea. They kind of know what's going on. They know how the average person kind of lasts out there. And like you said, and then it didn't help that it was like what, monsoon season, wasn't that right? And
It was definitely like, yeah, it was bad. It was like peak rainy season, like winter, like it was bad. Like the salmon run had already gone. There was like fish, you know, like Felix the cat, like fish bones from the cartoon. There was like that laid out in the woods all over the place from like bears and like eagles and stuff.
crazy, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I know a lot of people give, especially on YouTube, you know, everyone's got their own, they all have to feel like they have to voice their opinion. Especially like when it comes to like how the reason why you left was, you know, losing your ferro rod. But you don't see like the positive outcome that came from that. I mean, look at how many companies have took that and you know, came out with different colors, brighter colors and stuff like that. Different kind of ferro rods, different shapes and sizes, just because of what happened out there, you know.
Glad someone could benefit. I don't know, man.
Right.
No, honestly, listen, like, so I came out of that bummed out, but in all honesty, it lit a fire under my butt. Coming out and seeing people who weren't even as high up in the subscriber rankings as I were, because I was only at like what 30,000 or something when I went on there. You know what I mean? And people who didn't even have half as much as I did in like the 2-month hiatus that I took surpassed me, and I was all like, "Whoa, what happened?" So it lit a fire under me, and I wanted to like become the man on YouTube again. And if I had just won $500,000 on a TV show, like I would have had my head just blown out of proportion, anyways. You know what I mean? Or even if I did good, not even if I just didn't lose. If I did good, if I didn't like fail miserably, I would have been sitting pretty. You know what I mean? Thinking that things were going to come to me. I wouldn't have been so gung ho to go out and get them. Look at everyone who did good on that show. Like there's not many people who really did much with it, with the exception of what, Fowler.
Yeah, Zach did it, and he actually still holds the record for 87 days. You know, and that's something that I think a lot of people should give, you know, kudos to you for. I mean, alone never really helped your YouTube channel. Like,
no, it didn't. See, nobody knows that. People think that it did. People think that I blew it. It did the exact opposite, if anything, man. They didn't
right.
do good. It was detrimental for me. Like I got trolled hard. It wasn't like a, you know what I mean? It wasn't like a super boost or anything.
Yeah, you know, you were already like there's like a rule like on YouTube. It's like after 3 years, that's when YouTube kind of like really helps promote your stuff. And I want to say you was on YouTube for what, maybe close to 3 years before you left, or was that what, maybe close to a year or two?
Oh, it was a lot longer, man. It was like I've been on YouTube for like, how long ago was that? How long ago was my season? 5 years ago, or 4 or 3?
I think it was like seven. Yeah, seven.
7 years ago?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, he joined YouTube in 2007, September 13th,
Yeah.
2007.
And when was, so that's, that, and my first YouTube video was around then too. But when was the Alone season that I was on?
I'm sure someone might know in the chat here.
If you're saying 7 years ago, then that is about halfway through. But I thought it was like 5 years. But anyways, roughly. So say I was on YouTube for however long, but I hadn't been pumping them out, you know what I mean, religiously
Right.
for right.
Like that's back when, you used to do the 3-5 minute videos and stuff that, you talk about that now. Anyone that's been on your channel for like at least 2 years, they're not going to believe like, what? Joe Robinet did 5-minute videos? It's crazy.
Yeah, to all little like to songs and like little skill videos and like all in one shot and like no editing and like
Came out in
Actually,
2015, so 5 years ago.
season 1 premiered in June 18th of 2015 is when they said the final of season 1.
right, so 5 years. Right.
And then
I watched actually that first season of Alone Some Night, and I saw you on there because when I had my Bushcraft channel at that time, I was like, you were a guy that I watched all the time too. And then when I seen you lose your trail rod, I thought in my head, you know what? We play out in the snow all the time. It's deep. So I wouldn't put a big old lanyard of fluorescent orange paracord on all of my handles on my trail rod. So if I did lose it or I drop it, at least some of it would be sticking out of the snow. And so it was now I remember just by looking it up.
Well, and that's the thing too, Joe, is you started your channel originally just to kind of do like challenges, like back and forth. Like if someone, kind of challenges you to do like a one-handed fire or some kind of bow drill. I mean, that's kind of the reason why you said you started, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's exactly why it was, man, for challenges on Bushcraft USA on the forum. Sorry, I'm moving the camera here.
Oh, you're fine.
Yeah, that's the exact reason. I always thought pictures could be like doctored up to make it look like you did things, and I wanted to be respected. I was like a young Canadian, like little, like skinny looking punk skatery, like, and the Bushcraft forum was like all military dudes, big, tough, gun-toting American military dudes. So I was like, I wanted to look like legit, right? So I really, really tried and stuff. So I thought like putting videos out was the way to do it. And it just turned into this, eventually.
Yeah, it's just amazing like how far it went, how far you took it. And like we said, alone didn't really do anything. If not, it kind of, it affected your channel in a negative way. And here you are. I mean, you're sitting over a million subscribers. And, a lot of people gave you a lot of crap because of that, but here you are, you're sitting on top of the whole, bushcraft genre on YouTube.
Yeah, man, I think just putting my time in, you know what I mean? Like, I just put my time in, dude. I was a lot of the people who had channels when I did back in the day fell off or whatever the case may be, and I was lucky enough to keep it going. My content was deemed worthy enough to not demonetize. You know what I mean? I got lucky, and I was I just kept going at it. I just kept plugging away, man.
Yeah, so
that should be better now.
You much better on my end.
Hear me now?
Yeah, much better.
There you go. So for anyone that wants to start a YouTube channel, what would you recommend to them? If you could recommend at least one thing, what would you recommend?
If you're in our genre, don't get into it for the money because it's gonna nearly be impossible. Unless you're someone who gets really lucky, like that Rune dude who not too long ago came out, or like Primitive Technology, or I don't know, man, maybe My Self-Reliance got a pretty good start too. But like,
well, see, a lot of people don't know too, is like, I don't think Sean James is really good at what he does. And I think eventually he would got to the point where it was, but it kind of, to me, and this is just what it seems like to me, is that he got a huge boost from you. He kind of was someone who you didn't really know, and he has good content. Like I said, everything the guy has now, he's capitalizing on what he's doing. It's like it seems like he kind of got that boost from you. I mean,
yeah, well, it's gonna be hard to break in now. I think to any kind of bushcraft genre in our realm. I think you can do it for the love of it. I think that doing for the love of it and creating an organic feel is the best way to do it, because you're not going to have an ulterior motive already. People are going to pick up on that as it. And I'm not saying doing it for money is a bad thing at all. You know what I'm saying? But just know that like this isn't the genre for it. Like if you're in, like, you should go and like do like a comedy channel about like popular culture where you can talk about things, you can make fun of the coronavirus, you can talk about Trump, you can do whatever the case may be, you know what I mean? Get bam, 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 big views, big topics and stuff like this. Think about it. We're just camping, like we're camping. Like think about how often camping comes up in the normal person who goes to a 9-to-5 job, how often that comes up in their daily life,
Right.
in the conversation. It just doesn't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? How often does the president or whatever the case may be, a new Tesla car, you know what I'm saying? Like anything along those lines would be the ticket to go to the route to make money. But if you're in it for the love of it, then definitely I say go for it. I say just be very organic at it, be honest, be truthful, try not to just do everything that you've seen other people do. Just put your own spin on things. It doesn't have to be epic. It doesn't have to be over the top. I don't know, man.
I think a lot of that too, kind of going off of what you said, is not like doing something someone else has done, but you know, if you do find something like someone does, but you do put your own spin on it, I do believe like giving credit where credit's due. It's like, you know, hey, you know, I saw. It was kind of like that video you made where you had the 2 racks and you used the wood pins to hold it down. And you said exactly, you know, who you got it from, where you learned it from. And I don't see that a whole lot on other channels too. You know, it's weird.
You see, there's a lot more people that are copying what other people are doing. You can, if you know, you go back and you watch somebody else, and then they're like 2 months later, especially like your channel, Joe, how big the size is. I've seen a lot of younger channels try to copy exactly what you've been doing and trying to put their little twist on it. And me and Tyler have been talking about that a lot, is people don't, you know, give credit where credit is due.
Yeah.
You know what? And I've done that a lot in my channel too. Emulating people that I thought were good, but I do highly believe that giving credit where, I think there's nothing wrong with emulating, putting your own twist on it, but like if you just try to take credit for something like that, it's just very cringy, and like people know about it, you know what I mean? Like it's just not the look, man, especially in our genre. It's just not, you know.
I've seen now lately though, just with the dogs that are out in bushcraft videos now, I'm looking and I'm like, that kind of don't look like Scout. So
yeah.
We all know what channel that is. We're not. Yeah.
No, and it's all like, and I'm not trying to like, I get it, man. I get it. Believe me, I did it when I was trying to come up, and like I still do it when I see like something that pops off. You know, I wasn't the first one to do a dollar store challenge. You know what I mean? I got that idea from people on YouTube too. You know what I mean? It's like
So how did you keep your dogs? Because I've got 2 dogs. I've got a German Shepherd, Black Lab Pit Bull, and then I got a Great Dane Pit Bull that I'd love to take on the woods with me, but they'd take off running because their nose would get them in trouble. How did you teach your dogs to stay with you in the woods?
It might be part to do something with the breeds. I can't get Tripper away from me. Like I could literally beat this dog and he would come right back to my side. I'm not saying I do that. I'm saying, using it as an example. Like he's a Velcro dog. He doesn't go anywhere. Like and his recall is just like amazing. It had a lot to do with when he was a pup, just taking him around, for Tripper at least, taking him around with a lot of treats in my pocket and just always having him glued to me. You know what I mean? With just always positive reinforcement. And then when he would go away, when he comes back, you can't punish them ever, obviously, because they associate coming back with the punishment, right? Obviously, you know that. And then with Scout, it was just a bond, man. Me and Scout were just automatically bonded. Like, don't get me wrong. I remember one time when we lived up north, we were in the city and we were hiking. We was off leash. My dogs are always off leash, and we were in a little patch of woods next to a big busy high road, and a transport truck, like a semi truck, honked its horn and scared the shit out of him. And he turned tail and ran all the way back home. We were living in an apartment, and it was a good 20-minute hike. And I was running. I was so scared. He was like less than a year old. I couldn't find him. You know what I mean? So I found him back at the apartment. So it wasn't from day one that he was glued to me. You know what I mean? It comes with time too.
Trust,
just a bond, man. But with Tripper,
I would love to take my Great Dane out there, the one that Tyler was snuggling up with. He'd be really fun. But
Yeah.
I'm just afraid of him because his nose gets him in trouble all the time. And he's a really good dog. He listens and stuff, but that nose of him and that Great Dane, he just gets it down on the ground. And next thing you know, he's a mile down the road and you don't even know it.
Yeah. Well,
Right. Well, are they a hound? Is a Great Dane a hound?
Great Dane is a hound, and they're actually bred for hunting.
Yeah.
Was it boars or something really big?
No
And
doubt. Yeah, that'll do it, man. Like, and then like that's a husky too. Will always try. Well, not always, but a lot of times try and take off too. But
I think I'd have a better chance, Tyler, with Coda because Coda actually listens more. He's more of my dog. He's like Scout was. He wants to be by my side all the time. He doesn't want to go anywhere else. And Coda or Apollo's a lot younger, so he likes to do his own little thing and wander off and do things. So.
yeah, I don't think there's been a more iconic dog than Scout. He was just, like you said in your video, I mean, he was loved by so many. He made an impact on so many's lives, and yeah, it was hard for all of us.
Tyler, go check your audio on your mic and see if you can turn it up. You're really quiet compared to me and Joel. It could be you're sitting too far away too.
So what is something you hope to achieve this year, Joe? I mean, what is your big plans for 2020 for your channel?
I like to do a couple collabs. I had a couple things set up before this whole Corona nonsense happened. I was flying out west to do 2 collabs. I also want to get out to Texas and do a collaboration with Matt. I think that'll be a really from Demolition. Yeah, I think that would be a huge boost for my channel. Unfortunately, his brother just passed away the other day. He had cancer, and he it was his younger brother, which really I can't even imagine. But yeah, later on in the year, if that works, then hopefully that. But I don't know, man. I want to do a couple more. I want to get Tripper out on like a 2-week canoe trip with, probably just me and him. Build a shelter, fish for our food type thing. I want to canoe a lot, explore a lot up here where I am. I don't know though, like they closed down the provincial parks, which isn't going to stop me from anything. I mean, I can still go onto Crown land, which is like your like state land type of thing over there. And I can canoe and I can do all the stuff that I want to do still. I don't have to worry about even paying fees or parking. The only problem is finding spots to park now. So I might have to be a little bit more adventurous going off-roading, which I don't mind that at all. It's part of the fun for me. But yeah, just that type of stuff. What about you?
I mean, I got my canoe last year after switching from a kayak, but we had such a rainy season last year with the high rivers and stuff. And like I said, in Iowa, we have nothing but cornfields. We have like a itty bitty little patch of woods I can go and play in. But for the most part, it's like I said, it's just cornfields, and we have a river that we can go down and do like sandbar camping. We don't really have too much spots where we can do like a primitive like kind of camp setup. So I'm hoping this year the weather is going to cooperate so I can go out on my canoe and hopefully do like a canoe trip, maybe do like a 5-day, 7-day trip or something like that. That'd be awesome. And then
you don't have any private land up by you at all?
No private land. Yeah, it's a bummer. People they'll ask me like, where are you from? I'm like, Iowa, and then they'll look it up and they're like, well, where do you go? Where's the woods at? And I'm just like, we have a little bit of woods. It's hard, but it's not impossible. But yeah, I would love to go canoeing. I would love to just keep doing what I'm doing. Being part of like a small channel and stuff, as far as the people in my community. It seems like every time you get on a live stream or talk with them, it's all about how many subscribers can they get, how many views can they get. And for a long time I was kind of like that too, especially after I got my huge boost when I first started. I've only been doing this for a year now, and I think I'm up to like 3,000 subscribers, and I want it more and more. And I started realizing I was focusing so much more about trying to gain people and trying to get more views. I wasn't really caring about the people who I already had and who already supported me and supported my channel. So that's kind of, I mean, if if it works out and I get bigger, that's awesome. If not, it's not the end of the world, I know you was talking about doing like a collab with Matt. It would help your channel out. And that's the thing too, people don't realize, like, your channel is so huge, especially for like the bushcraft outdoor kind of genre on YouTube. There's not too many people that you can finally benefit from, because it seems like everyone that you've done, collaborations with, it's really helped and benefit their channel. And it doesn't really give so much towards you, as far as that aspect goes.
Yeah, I've never once been the person with the lesser amount of subscribers that I've camped with anyone. You know what I mean? It's always been the other way around. So
Yeah,
it would be nice to feel like to reap a little bit of benefit of that too. It would be, you know what I mean?
yeah, be like the underdog going into, doing like a collab or something, seeing how that kind of benefits for you.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So Tyler, we actually did the -30. So if we want to one up our 7-day challenge, we got to go somewhere colder.
I don't know if I'm ready for that yet. That was a real challenge. I tried doing, so like we did a 7-day survival challenge up in northern Wisconsin, kind of up by the border of Canada, and it was horrible. -30 degrees Fahrenheit weather at night. I told my subscribers that I was going to do Walmart gear, no, Gransford Brooks axes, boreal saws, just strictly Walmart gear, no tent.
That's fine.
And I didn't use a sleeping bag. So
that's not fine. That's not fine at all.
Like, I really wanted like the views and stuff. I'm just like, man, I want to go out there and kind of prove my point, because like I said, I know people like you, Zachary, Fowler, and all them. So I felt like it was kind of up to me to kind of show like where I belong as far as, doing stuff like that. And I mean, I got through it. Obviously I'm here, but I mean, I kind of lost feeling in a big toe, it happens, right?
Well, it shouldn't happen, Tyler. Yeah, man, -30 is what? What is that in Canadian? Is like
Quebec, what is -30 in Celsius? Because we actually had a day there where it didn't get above, it was -15 during the day, and that's when we came off of the -30, so we couldn't even get warm back up.
Let's see, the worst.
Because -30 is cold. -30 Fahrenheit is still very cold. It's almost, I want to say it's like -20 or something Celsius. Like, it's cold.
I'll go and check it out right now.
It was horrible. And after that night, I was like, all right, you know what? No more. I did bring a sleeping bag. I just didn't use it for those first 3 days because I really wanted to prove to myself and others that, I can do it. So after I had that incident with the whole losing feeling in my toes, not really knowing who I was when I woke up that morning, I decided to use a sleeping bag at night. And like, I made like the worst mistake by like covering my face with the sleeping bag. And I mean, you can tell my beard, like my breathing created condensation and it froze overnight. Yeah. And like I ripped the sleeping bag off, ripped part of my beard off. I was like, oh, everyone like woke up and heard me like screaming, like, what's going on now? And I'm just like, I ripped my beard. Like, it was like my beard was just like all over the place. It was so bad.
Yeah, it's actually -34 Celsius there, Joel.
Okay, so there you go, bro. That is that'll freeze your rum. That's cold.
Yeah, it was horrible. Like, I think that was the night that we didn't take the number 2. It was just so cold that it was horrible.
Was there so much snow up there it collapsed my two of my bushcraft shelters. So I'm crawling in there with the main frame, the main post going across my lean-to. It was actually cracked, so I actually had to take a stick and I jammed it up in there, and then I got him on one side and me on the other with a little camp stove in there, and he's over there just shaking, and I can't even warm the place up enough to get him warmed up, and I'm like, ay.
Yeah, it was bad. It was
okay. And then what night was that? That was on the first night or what?
That was the second night or third night going in.
And you stayed 6 nights?
7 days. Well, we was out there for 8 days, so we went out like a day beforehand to get our epic shots for like our intro and stuff in there. But I mean, we stayed the night out there, and then the next morning is when the challenge really started for like our day 1. It was like by far like one of the hardest things I've ever done, especially like I said, I went through all of alone, to get on that show and learn all that stuff, which, that's what really bothers me is like, here I thought going into boot camp, like they were all worried about like, how good is he at like survival stuff, like bow drills and I mean, yeah, it was part of it, but like what they really wanted was like personality. And at the time, I'm just like, I'm kind of new to this whole camera thing, so I'm just like nervous and like, yeah, I can do like this and that really good, but I'm not funny. I'm not, whatever. So I mean, it was a bummer, but
Great. Joel, your person of interest is in the chat now. So Grace Martin is here.
Hi,
yep.
Grace.
And he's saying, "Oh my gosh, Joel." So yes, Tyler's got Joel on here for you. So guys, like I
That
said,
was like
share
the one thing
this
too.
out.
After we were talking, and especially after you were on the last live stream, but the internet cut out right before it actually showed us.
Yeah,
And
sorry
I know
about
she was
that.
so bummed, and I was just like, oh, I feel so bad.
Hello, Grace. Hope you're doing well.
But yeah,
Yeah, sorry about bailing last time.
oh, you're fine. It happens, like you said, especially with the internet and stuff too. Like it's crazy,
Yeah,
Crazy
it's like I got like how many people here? There's like I don't know, 7 people in my house right now, all using internet. It's just
phones,
and
tablets,
and, and
TV.
the and the internet is like absolute garbage to begin with. Like I'm literally garbage. I pay for the best internet I can get here, and it's just and everything runs on it too. So
Yeah,
it's one of the downsides. You know what I mean? It's like this living out here, but like the good outweighs the bad for sure. So
right, for sure, for sure. But yeah, that whole series was like it was fun. Because like I said, I live in Iowa. We don't have like these trees behind me. Like actually, so that brown little shelter is raised. I made a raised cabin with those 4 sheets of tarps. But all those trees out there were straight, because we was in a cedar swamp. And I live in Iowa. You cannot find like one straight tree. So like, I watch videos like yours and TA Outdoors, but I watch all these videos where like these guys are building like these awesome like super shelters or your fort and stuff like that with these really straight pieces of wood. And I'm just like, we don't have that here. So like, and like a lot of places I can go, I can't, just go down and cut down a bunch of trees if I wanted to. So I got most of my shelters like made out of driftwood because that's what I can legally use. So it was like such a nice change of pace being able to use like straight pieces of wood and not, trees and stuff like this.
yeah, no doubt, bro. You're preaching to the choir, man. I lived in Windsor like forever. Like it was the same thing. It was like ironwood, hickory, ash, like you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
not even a cedar or like a birch or any kind of straight thing to be found. I'm trying to make a bed. And the logs are like, you know what I mean? Like it just
You're
doesn't
sleeping
work.
kind of like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's something like that. Yeah.
It was hilarious because he went out and the first tree that he saw that was dead was an ironwood, and he took this Walmart axe to go at it. And I'm standing back and I'm just laughing. I'm like, I gotta see how this works out for Tyler. He's chiseling away at this thing, and I'm laughing. He's sawing, he's chiseling away. He goes to push it over, and it breaks down below where he was chopping.
Not even where he was cutting it at. I hate
No.
Yeah.
I was running through too, like I'm a loose cannon and just like trying to knock it over and stuff, It was so funny. It was such a good time out there. I think that's the hardest thing too. Like doing a video with other YouTubers. It was me and Mark that's up here rolling Homestead, and then Justin Van Ferrari, which he was another guy who kind of went on the show with me and did all that training and stuff. And like learning how to like be able to shoot videos all being close to each other, not talking over, not stepping in their view on their cameras and stuff. Like it was a challenge. And then like I told you, I was texting you the other day about getting rid of my Nikon. Like that thing has had nothing but issues with like the shutter being stuck open or something when I'm recording. So it shows that I'm recording, but it's not. Like you can put your hand in front of it and it doesn't show it. It just shows like the last thing it got stuck on. And I went like 2 whole days out there with no footage because it kept doing that. And I kept thinking it was recording when it wasn't. So yeah, I just had enough of it. I was like, it's time to upgrade.
It was actually kind of funny because I heard I didn't have to bleep anything out on mine because after Tyler just walking away and then he says, I got to take a minute. I'm like, this camera keeps saying that's after we've actually got quilts for the cameras and we got actually these for extreme cold weather and everything. They're all, we put hand warmers in there and everything. Right. And my DSLR wouldn't do what he had problem with, but as soon as I put a battery in fully charged, I'd walk out and I'd go ahead half charge and just drop right off. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. This thing is just nothing wanted to work in that extreme cold environment. It was just terrible. Yeah.
I know. My friend Kyle and I did a 4-night trip in Algonquin Park years ago, and we moved every day, walking with sleds behind us, and it was -20 in the day, Celsius, and -40 at night every night, and our cameras, like, the autofocus wouldn't work, like you're saying. Like, we had to put the memory cards and the batteries in our armpits all the time just to get like a minute worth of that it would work for a minute. Like, it was crazy, man. Trying to film like that on not like legit setups is just, yeah, it's hard.
Yeah.
And Tyler took his GoPro and he tied a string to it and he whips it in the hidden pond because there's all kinds of trout jumping around. And what really sucked for us is that trout season is closed. You can't put a pole in the water. So there was like no fishing, no hunting, no nothing that we could do at the time. But you can see, because it's a fresh spring, it's a hot spring, these trout are jumping after the snowflakes that are hitting the thing. And I'm like, oh, you talk, and I know, because as soon as I can get out of this house, I got a company that sent me a hammock they want me to try out, and I'm going to go right back to the hidden lake, and I'm going to actually take the pole with me, because then I'll be able to fish. And I'm going to go to Tyler and say, see, this is what's in here.
Nice. Yeah, man, there's nothing like seeing him there, not being able to grab him out, especially like, yeah, you can't
And
do
Tyler,
that.
and I kept primping Tyler for like a week and a half before he left, because Wisconsin is loaded with wolves.
Oh,
So I'm
yeah.
like, yeah. When I
Yeah.
told him we're gonna be in a place where we have wolves and we have bear dens and we have all this stuff, so he's like, okay, no problem. Well, when that howl came up behind his little hut back there, you want to see somebody's eyes turn about the size of 50-cent pieces and start running, because that thing was howling, and he's like, ugh!
Yeah. It was because, like I said, in Iowa, we have deer. Like, that's the biggest animal out there that's gonna be tracking through the woods. We don't have black bear, we don't have cougar, we don't have wolves, we don't have badgers, we don't have nothing like that. The worst we have, I guess, is coyotes. So it was like my first time ever being out there with like wolves and stuff, and they had went back to their side of the woods to go put their cameras and all that stuff on the chargers. And I was just back there I was still at the time, because it took me 3 days to build my shelter, because it was raised 6 feet off the ground. I built a platform, built my walls up. So it took me a while to get into it. And so I was working like all day and night, and they had left and I was still working. And like, I hear this wolf howl, and I was just like, are you kidding me? Like, of course, like when I'm alone by myself, there's going to be a howl. I'm just like, yeah. So I had my air rifle out there. Annihilator Air Guns sponsored the trip and like sent me this air rifle. Just, even though he knew we couldn't hunt, just kind of something to mess around with out there and kind of show off. So I shot like a warning shot out there, and I think that's kind of what scared it away. But yeah, it could have been like lunch.
Joe, Quebec Homestead is asking what province you were from.
I'm in Ontario. Yep. I used to live in Southern Ontario, and now I'm in cusp of Northern Ontario. Northern Ontario goes up pretty high up, and I'm just right at the beginning of it. And that said, I'm like a good 10-hour drive north of where I used to live, to give you a perspective of how big the province is.
I hear you talk about, how far your trips are and stuff. I can't imagine the kind of miles that you put on your truck and the Jeep.
Yeah, dude, since we moved up here, and the whole reason for moving up here was so that I didn't have to leave to go far on these trips anymore, right? So before we moved up here, I just drove all the time. Like, I'm talking two times a week. I would drive somewhere like 8 hours away and back twice a week to film and to film and do trips. But now, because I live where I live, so secluded, so far out from the city, I drive about roughly an hour in and out every time I have to go to the city. And I'm driving down back home where we're from a lot and everything. So it's driving just as much living up here. I bought my truck with like 60,000 kilometers on it last October, and it has 129,000 on it now.
So you doubled it.
Yeah.
Crazy stuff.
Yeah. But it is what it is. It's whatever. It's just fun. And I actually don't mind driving. I'm kind of used to it. When I stopped driving for a while there, when we first moved up here and I was just doing trips around here and stuff, I'm like, oh man, I kind of missed it. It was like the only time I ever really had to just kind of like, because like when I'm out there, when I'm camping, I'm by myself a lot, but I'm not thinking as much. I'm filming. I'm paying attention to filming. Period. Like, and if I'm with somebody else, it's even less that I'm thinking about, whatever. It's just filming and doing my thing. But yeah.
So So you got the kind of guy that you have the thought process of actually what you're going to do when you go out there in your head already, or you just like me where I just go on the fly, whatever happens, happens.
It's mainly that. It's mainly the go on the fly, whatever happens, happens. But I do have a rough idea of like the theme of the video. No structure or anything, just the theme, just like what I'm going to do. If I'm going to go out, say, do like a 5-item overnight, or if I'm going to go and build onto my permanent shelter for the day type of thing. You know what I mean? I have a rough idea, rough theme, and then I just go with it. Yeah. I can go out for like 5 hours and have like an hour of footage edited after. I have no idea how I can do that, but it's easy for me to
do. So when you go out there and shoot, like Mark was saying, but kind of different, like, are you the guy, like, do you know your shots that you need? Like for me, I know I can go out and I know, like, it's like telling a story. You know, you got your beginning, set up camp. You got your middle, which is usually around getting a fire going, get your meal done. And you got your end, which is, your bedtime, saying your goodnights, a little bit of processing wood for the next morning or something like that. So do you have those shots that or are you someone who just goes out there and records, like, from the time you get there to the time you leave?
Yeah, I record from the time I get there, from the time I leave. I literally record everything I do.
Oh, wow.
I record at least some part of every single thing that I do while I'm out there. And I, at the same time, do try to make little scenes inside of that, little beginnings, middles, and ends inside of that. And a lot of the times, like, I'm master of using the fade to black. You know what I mean? The fade to black is my go-to in editing. So I'll use that as time passing. I'll use that as a scene ending. I'll use that as whatever. You know what I mean? And it comes across. I'm sure it does. Yeah.
YouTube screwed my day one up, and it like cut up different pieces, like at a part where Tyler was coming in, so I sped him up, and then he slowed down to give the thumbs up, kind of thing like this, and they cut off the part where he's walking up, and I'm just sitting on the other end on the phone talking to Tyler. I said I'm deleting this thing. I'm getting this ain't right, and I could see it. And Tyler's like, no, don't worry about it. Joe does it all the time.
There you go. If Joe does it, it must be all right.
Yeah. So I'm like, I'm deleting this. He's like, no, just leave it. It's bad if you delete it. I'm
like, yeah, I don't delete anything. The only thing I ever delete is like after it's up too. The only thing I ever delete is like a live stream here or there, because sometimes I say some stupid things, but
what is it with like the bigger the channel get, it's kind of like really often do you see them like do live streams compared to like people our size channel, like me and Mark's size channel, where it's like live stream on a constant basis?
I don't know, man. I have no idea, because like I've never been, when live streams only came out after I was already, I think, over 100,000 or something. Like, yeah, I really don't know it. It's more of a new thing. Whenever I do it, I'm like I said, the last time I did, I was doing dishes, or like when sometimes I'll be watching a UFC fight and I shouldn't live stream because I'm like had a few too many things to drink or whatever. You know what I mean? Yelling things at the TV, but it is what it is.
Yeah,
it's fun. It's fun. I don't know.
I ended up doing a drunk karaoke night singing thing. And I have like 10 people who subscribe to my channel, and every once in a while they'll pop in to see if I'm doing that, and then they'll leave a comment like, no karaoke, I'll see you in another month or so. Hopefully by then. I'm just like, so it's like, I feel like I have like an obligation now, like every once in a while I'll get like really drunk and start like singing some karaoke songs. It was
cool. You got diehards, you got diehard karaoke freaking night fans.
Yeah, yes.
That's how I found him when he was at some kind of, I think it was a New Year's Eve party, wasn't it, Tyler?
Yeah, it was some kind of party.
And I was like, this dude is just totally nuts.
I had a little bit too much. And it's actually, I had someone who sent me, it was like called Pumpus Ass L from Canada.
Oh, yeah.
And I had someone send that to me, and they sent me two of them. It was like one with an octopus and then one with like something else. And
Octopus Wants to Fight is that one.
Yeah, yep, that's it.
Yeah.
And some other ones. So I drank it, and like I was just in that mood to drink. Like I don't drink often, but when I do drink, it's like I'm like I can't stop. So like I'll just be drinking all the time, and then I get this feeling. I'm just like, yeah, I'm gonna hop on YouTube. Like that's a good idea, and it's just like,
Yeah, of course, yeah. Yeah, it's like drunk dialing, you know what I mean, or something like that. Like even worse though, because there's just a
yeah.
huge audience, you know, like
You got people like, what is going on here? It's like, this is not my proudest moment. But you know, stuff like that happens. Like I at first, like I used to be worried about it. I used to be worried about like making sure everything looked professional, but I'm just like at the same time, you know, we're human, we're gonna get mad. We're gonna have issues that we need to deal with. Like I said, I have like a couple of channels that like follow everything I do on my channel, and they'll take it and do their own. And then like if I have like special people come up here, like as part of the Bushcraft podcast, like those people will kind of go behind my back and like get a hold of them and like badmouth my name. And it's just like, yeah, I'm just like, I'm so sick of it. I'm so sick of like, at least give me credit. It's like, hey, Tyler was doing it, so I want to try it too, or something like that. But that's not how it works.
Grace says, I haven't seen drunken karaoke yet, Tyler.
Yeah, because as soon as it like rendered and it like processed, like I ended up deleting it like before I passed out. Yeah. Maybe one day, we'll see.
Colin says, by the way, Mark, did you know that there's a wine called Hatch wine that is made with red and green chilies? Nope, but I do know that Tyler has got to get going on eating some of these Reaper peppers and stuff that I gave him. I know that.
Yeah, those Reapers are horrible. Those are horrible.
We did that challenge a couple times, and you want to see something hilarious is watch Tyler eat a really hot pepper, like the ghost pepper or the Reaper.
He says like a really hot pepper, like it's nothing. It's like 2 million Scoville units. It's like ridiculous.
You're freaking hot ones over here.
I wish dude, Sean Evans is so good at like coming up with questions. Like I was kind of watching his stuff to kind of like prepare to ask you something, because at the time I didn't even know if you were going to be able to make it up today. So I was just like, I don't want to sound like a total like, noob or anything. Just like, what am I going to ask him? Like I've been wanting to ask him so much stuff, but so does everyone else. Yeah. And it's just like,
he is a good interviewer. You know who else is a good interviewer is Nardwar. You know
yeah,
Nardwar?
I've been watching. I found him on like Facebook. I was like watching like Facebook videos like late at night. Like I don't know how I get in that stage, but I'll find like these random weird videos on like Facebook video, and then I found him like doing like little Uzi Vert or something like that, and like he was like asking like all these crazy questions. I'm just like, who is that guy?
Right, and he always knows like super crazy stuff about the people he's interviewing. They're always like blown away by how he knows whatever he knows. Yeah,
just like, wait, how do you know that? It's like, yeah. Crazy stuff.
Herbert T says, "Don't delete this live stream. I want to go back and rewatch it."
I just read that too.
No, it'll be out. It's been fun so far. I said we had Zach up. We had Dave. Miss you, like Dave, the really big monkey one. His channel. That's the person who Mark kind of like idolized and watched and stuff, and got him to really get into it. As like a lot of my subscribers know, like I talk about you religiously on like almost every video. It's like I started this because of Joe, and it's just like here you are, it's like that's awesome. It's just crazy.
Dave, he's been around forever, so really big. Like kudos to him, man. Like he's held it down for just as long as I have, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he's old school.
What's really funny is I think I only had like maybe 20 to 30 subscribers. I just started out YouTube. I was using a Rogue video camera that was shooting 720. And this guy with over, I think at that time he had like 80, 90,000 subscribers. He subscribed to my channel and said, "Hey, you're doing a good job. Keep it up." And I went, it's like, really?
Yeah, that's a big feather in the cap. You know what I mean? When you're just starting out or whatever, that gives you a nice push. I remember getting that from people for sure, man.
And I was like, wow. And then when he started, he messaged me on my Instagram all the time, and he's giving thumbs up, and I'm like, this guy is legitimate. And then when we had him up here, he's just like us. I'm like, this is even cooler, because the video that I remember him the most is he got this, I don't know where he got this bike from, but he put a tarp on one side. It looked like a World War II bike that he had loaded up on all sides. He had all his gear on his bike, and he's a pedal bike on top of it. And he's going through the woods, and he's dodging trees and laughing. And you know how Dave is. And I was like, this is just crazy.
Yeah. He does have such a distinct laugh, eh? A wholesome dude. Yeah. So he was on here. Does he know who I am?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. He was like heartbroken. He was just like, I wanted to see Joe so bad. Like
Yeah.
he's been working 12-hour shifts, and like he still managed to come on. He was up there with me and Fowler. He jumped on probably like I'd say about an hour after your internet dropped, and we were texting on Instagram and stuff. Yeah, he's like a huge Joe Robinet fan. It's really cool.
No way. That's cool,
But
man. I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad to hear because you never know. Like it's we never really had any. So it was one of those things where like I definitely aware of him. You know what I mean? But never really had any interaction at all. So it was just like I had no clue, and it's been years and years and years and years and years. So your mind makes up things. You know what I mean? Whatever. But
right, yeah.
that's cool. Very cool.
And then here's a good question because like I said, I moderate for Zach's channel. Greg Ovens, who was on alone with him as well. They always ask this question like, are you or do you have plan or is it a possibility sometime in the future to do a collab video with Zachary Fowler?
Yeah, I would. 100%. I would.
You know what I think would be cool because he does a lot of like the homemade bushcrafty kind of canoe type stuff. I think it'd be cool to kind of see you guys kind of do like you got the 30-day survival challenge, you got a 7-day survival challenges and all this, but I've never seen like a canoe survival challenge kind of thing too. I think that'd be kind of cool to see, you know.
Yeah, he does have a good way of like. So here's the thing: like, I just honestly don't really watch outdoor channels like as a whole. Like sometimes I do here and there. I watch Scramble those latest 2 videos. I laugh my butt off. I know Scramble those, so it's a little bit different. You know what I mean? When you know
Right.
someone personally, you just tend to watch a little bit here and there. And I haven't seen anything from him in so long, right?
Right.
So we legit have camped together probably a dozen times. But I don't really watch outdoor channels for the most part, just because it's been so saturated and it's been a hobby of mine for so long, and I do it. You know what I mean? It's not like I'm just a fan watching it; it's something that I do. So I do watch YouTube channels, just for the most part, not outdoor videos. So I haven't really watched a lot of his stuff, but I can tell you that I do know that he comes up with really good ideas, very good intros, good thumbnails, things like that. Things that like even like I've started to watch like big bits and pieces of it, and like how he starts it off with like that drone coming in, like this is the whatever, and that's really good. It's almost like TV, you know what I mean? Does a really good job
Right.
with that. I would definitely be interested in talking to him about something like that and getting ideas about like a canoe type survival thing. Yeah, and like another thing is like I'm not trying to go away from my home and live in the woods for 30 days and do one series off that. Like I did one series for 10 days and I got like 2 months worth of content from it at over an hour a piece. You know what I mean? So
Right.
it's
Yeah.
like I don't. For me, for 30 days for one thing is too long. It'd be such similar content for so long for me. But definitely a 10-day thing I would do.
Right on. Yeah.
It's like Tyler tried to wanted me to go with us on his canoe trip down, starting in Minnesota and going all the way to Missouri. I'm just like me in a boat. I don't know.
Well, that's an undertaking for sure.
Yeah, I don't watch too many other outdoor channels besides, yours, obviously, Zach's. There's people who I moderate for, and there's other channels that I watch that I love. Like the biggest thing is LA Beast. He was the first YouTuber I ever watched, like back when YouTube had like 10 YouTubers. And I was like, man, this guy's eating a cactus. Like this guy's crazy. And then like here he is now, like he like comes in my channels and like supports my channel and we talk. I mean we got some stuff coming up too, which is gonna be pretty cool. But yeah, I mean I totally get that too.
Yeah, good for you. That's awesome that you can collaborate with him. That's really cool.
Yeah, he's a funny guy for sure. Joe, what is your favorite place you have ever camped? That's a good question.
Man, I don't know. I really like Woodland Caribou. You know what I mean? I've been up there twice now, and then I've been in that area 3 times. Um, 3 times overall. I do like it. I like it a lot. There's something different about it. I like being out at night when it's like still like pretty decently light by midnight. Like the sun's finally going down. You're out on your canoe. The lake is glass. And the sky is like pink and purple, and like, or maybe even possibly see the northern lights. I'm gonna say Woodland Caribou is probably my favorite place I've ever camped.
That would be
And
like my, I think that'd be my dream, is to go out where the northern lights are and just videotape them at nighttime. That would be like the main epicenter of the northern lights. Would be just awesome to go do.
Dude, my 10-day survival trip I did a couple springs ago, the first night, it was built up so much in my head, like 10 items, 10 days, blah, 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 blah. First night I come out there, I turn around, boom, northern lights. I'm just like, oh my God, like it blew me away, man. It was such a good like omen.
You see, we're only a couple hours away from the Canadian border, so one of the things that is on my bucket list is I still want to go up to Alaska and do some camping up there, but then take Tyler and go up into Canada, and I want to actually go up far enough so we can actually do the northern lights and do that kind of stuff. But he's not a really good one when it comes to the real cold stuff, so I got to get him.
Yeah.
Just go in like late, like early June or late summer, like August. August would be decent too. But I think to see the lights, the cooler temperature, the better. Where would you cross over?
I would say probably Minnesota, because Minnesota is like directly above me. Or I could probably go through Mark's Way too, up through Wisconsin.
But where would you cross over to Canada? Would that be Sault Ste. Marie or no?
I think
it would probably have to, yeah, because otherwise we got the Apostle Islands right above us, so you'd have to go around and kind of kitty corner that way up and through.
Yeah.
So yeah, you go through you go through Upper Peninsula, Michigan to go through in Sault Ste. Marie, but there's got to be another one through Wisconsin somewhere too, I'm sure. But yeah, whereabouts on the lake are you? Near the lake? What part of the lake? Like
we're not there. We're down. If you look down where Rhinelander is, we're just a little bit south of Rhinelander.
Okay.
So we're right in the upper part of Wisconsin, up in that area,
Right.
Which is really nice because it's up here. There's, like Tyler found out, the woodland is beautiful up here. We've got so much. The lakes up here, there's so many hidden lakes and rivers that you can go and do stuff on. And up here in Wisconsin, you have more private land than you do. It's either private or federal. There's very few state land around. So it's kind of neat because when we go on the land, we can do whatever we want. That's what I liked. And what these guys liked is they never seen that before, where you just can have that much land around you.
Yeah.
Yeah, Canada's my bucket list. I want to go up there so bad, especially after watching all the Algonquin Park videos, especially during the fall. Like, I'm a fall guy. I love, the colors and the scenery during fall. Like, that's like, oh man, like I would kill to have that,
Thing of it is the mosquitoes.
Where it's at, man. Sorry, go ahead.
That's a big part, is mosquitoes. I know I when I was in Canada, when I was a kid, we went up there fishing, and the mosquitoes are so big they take you and pick you right off the boat. And up here, our mosquitoes are bad enough.
Mosquitoes, the black flies, yeah, we got some bugs. You just got to time it. You just got to time it around it. Like, I can deal with the mosquitoes because, like, they don't make me sick. Like, they suck. They're horrible. It sucks to deal with them, but the black flies make me sick. So it's almost a no-go. So I have to, like, pick where I'm going to be, south or north, time dependent on where the black flies are. And it's fine because there's places for me to go either spot. It's just, yeah, it's hard to tell because every year is different too, right?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Drop it like a scout. Hey, how you doing?
Yo. Drop it like a Scott. That's funny.
Yeah, he's got a really good outdoor channel, kind of like Demolition Ranch and like Hickok 45.
Oh, yeah. Someone's asking. Where I just saw it. Blake Hurst says, "What's one place overseas where I would like to camp? Like Scotland type thing, where like maybe." I don't even know if I'm saying the right thing. Like
UK or something.
I don't know, a place where it would be like where Kyle went, like Iceland, and he did this trail where there's barely any trees at all, and it's like almost subalpine. So anything like that. But I would like to go to Scotland too, and Ireland, places like that. I'm not sure if there's too many places to camp there. The Caledon Forest, if I'm not mistaken, is in Scotland, which was big. But anywhere like that, like where it's like subalpine, where you're using gas stoves and you're backpacking, and you're not really like in forest, and you're using trees type thing. I'd like to do that because I've done the forest, I've done the bushcraft, I've done the, you know what I mean, all that type of stuff. Closest I've ever been to anything like that is in West Virginia and Dolly Sods, and some places in it were very subalpine feeling. It's very
Romania would be another good one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Colin wants to know if you ever go bow hunting.
Man, I've never hunted for anything. I just was never taught it when I was a kid, and where I lived, it wasn't really a big thing at all. So now that I'm up here, I do have my collection of firearms, and I do want to start hunting. I'd love to bow hunt. I would love to, but I haven't done it, and I will do it. I just have to get my knowledge up and start doing it.
Plus,
There's
on
plenty.
YouTube, you can't show so much of it, you know, because it's
That's
automatically
that's the thing. That's the thing that people don't understand too. It's like, well, Joe, why don't you do all? It's like, so anything that I do takes away from time where I'm filming outdoor content for my channel. I can't film hunting stuff for my channel. You know what I mean? So it's like going and getting my license, going and learning, going and doing these things are all fun and necessary, and I want to do them. But it's just like it's taking away from time where I'm outdoors doing my what I need to be doing for my livelihood. So I will do it. I will do it down the line. It's just not right now.
See, and I think that's kind of what drew me to, especially the one video. I think one of my favorite videos from yours is the being raised without a dad, because I was the same way. You know, my dad passed away when I was like a year old. I didn't have anyone to show me how to make fires, how to change a tire, you know, any of the man stuff, right? You know, so I think that's kind of like that video is kind of like what really set me off. It was just like, you know, here he is out there, and he went through the same thing. He didn't have someone that can do that, you know, either. So really cool.
Hey man, I hear you, definitely.
Yeah, I just messed it up somewhere up here. It's like weird trying to do this. I just got a new computer too, so like the whole thing, like with my channel, like I have such an awesome community. I truly do. Like they all went like without telling me, made like a GoFundMe and like use that money so I can get a new computer, because for the longest time I've been using a Dell like 15 made back in like 2000, had like a it would take me a 20-second clip to put in my timeline. It would take 15 to 20 minutes to render, and that's just to render to watch it before I can even edit it. So it took me 4 days to edit a video. It took me 4 days to edit a video, and it's like a 20-minute video, but it would take me 4 days to do it. So they all went in and they all like put money into a GoFundMe for a computer. So now I bought like a used iMac computer that I can do all my editing stuff on now. So like I'm getting used to it, but it was horrible. My computer was like slower than dirt.
I know exactly what you're talking about. I used to use Windows Movie Maker, free software. It would always corrupt my files.
Yeah.
But sometimes I didn't know about editing or whatever. So like, or saving or like backing up, or sometimes I'd go out and reshoot what I shot because it just like I was like, oh, it's gone now. Like the computer ate it or whatever.
It was horrible. Like after
good to see you, Stag. Glad you came into the chat.
Yeah, good to see you. After using this computer, so it took me like 5 minutes to load up Google. If I type in Google, the whole web page Google took 5 minutes to load, like the easiest page to load. So using this and be able to stream and edit videos while I can do it now, like it's such a night and day difference. Like I said, I got this, and then I ended up selling my camera and got a new one. So I'm just like, hopefully everything's going to start looking up, you know, better. I can go and shoot videos and not worry about my camera shutting off. And then when I do have a lot of footage, I can edit it and get videos done like a lot.
It was really funny too, because he used to call me up and he'd be just fit to be tied because he'd be working with Filmora and he'd be trying to do a video. Well, he talked me into getting Filmora because I used to use CyberPower. He's like, you got to try out Filmora. You got to try to Filmora. So we were on here and I'm doing a screen share with him one day and I load up Filmora and I'm editing videos and he's like, wait a minute, you don't even have to render your videos before you put it on. I'm like, no, Tyler, I don't have to do that. He goes, you suck. You know, I'm already done with the video and he's got to do a 30-second clip and then he's got to render it and put it down in his timeline and I can load the whole thing right up and go.
Yeah, that's horrible.
So you guys, obviously we got Joe Robinet in here, and you guys have any questions for him in the chat? If you do, please put them up in all caps so we can get there and you guys can ask Joe some questions.
Yeah. And like I say, anytime you need to help off Joe too, don't feel hesitate. You have to stay here. I mean, just you being on is just awesome.
Guys, don't forget
I'll off here. Probably in about 10 minutes or so. My wife's looking at me like it's bedtime. We're an hour ahead of you guys there, so we're 11 o'clock now. We're old. We're old.
Yeah.
Yeah, drop like a scout. I actually did some really cool stuff today with Filmora. I'm trying to get the old disappear effect going, which is kind of difficult to do, especially with having pictures of me and Tyler together and try to like disappearing at the same time. It's been difficult, but I'm learning it.
See, that's the thing too, is like I never really cared too much about editing and stuff. Like I watch your videos and your videos are like they're simple. They're like, and I don't mean that in any disrespect or bad way. It's like you have people who will like throw out 50, 60 different effects during their videos, and sometimes I feel like it's like not really necessary. You know, if I watch the camping video or a bushcrafting, overnighter, I don't want to see this or that. I want to just see raw, footage of it, and you really capitalize on that. And
it's just my style. Like it works for some people, and it's cool, and I like it. Like for example, like TA Outdoors does a really cool cinematic thing when he's walking in to his little patch of woods or whatever it is in the beginning of his videos. Like it looks awesome. Like it really does, and he has a cool like filter over it and everything. It looks really cool. It's just I can't, like, my videos are so long and there's so much going on. It takes me so long to edit as it is. I wouldn't be able to put out content. Like I wouldn't be able to do it. You know what I mean? I have so much going on in my videos and so much going on in my life that I just doing color correcting or even, and that's the thing. I don't know anything about it. Maybe he has a preset thing where he can throw everything in there and it looks, you know what I'm saying? All the same way all the time.
I think there's a lot more that goes on TA Outdoors than what he really shows. I don't know. Like the guy is building campsites and permanent shelters like on the daily. And I don't know. I heard rumors like, he has like his own construction crew that kind of goes and like, does a lot of the man work before he goes and sets it up. But
yeah, whatever. Kudos to him if he does. He's doing something right. I think he's passed me in subscribers now. So.
And by the way, Tyler, now I got to sit there at nighttime and watch that guy you introduced me to just because I'm just infatuated how he films.
Yeah, that Rune guy. I thought it'd be really funny. I thought it'd be funny to get Rune on this podcast because he doesn't say nothing at all.
Good luck.
Yeah. So just like have him on the podcast and like ask him a bunch of questions, but like not have him say anything for like an hour straight. I think that'd just be hilarious, Like
that would be very funny. I would get a kick out of that. Yeah.
I'm gonna have to message him and see what he says. I think it'd be pretty cool. I saw a question in here.
There's a bunch of questions popping up now.
Okay, let's do some of those. Yeah.
Joel, do you have any plan? Do you have any new products lines planned? That's from Herbert T Outdoors.
Products line, like stuff for sale, merch. No, there's on bunkerbranding.com. Oh, look what Tyler's got. Yeah, what Tyler has there is what I would highly recommend. That's a legit piece of kit for like a good price. Like
this is my favorite besides my Boreal. Like this thing is like, it's so nice and light.
It's super lightweight and it's bomb.
As you can tell, I've used the crap out of it.
I like how it nests in the Nalgene too. But other than that, I have a couple new t-shirt lines coming out. Not much really crazy like on the gear front right now. Just a little bit of different designs on t-shirts. I see Fox at Outdoors says, "How's the gut been feeling lately?" It's been feeling pretty good. Thank you for asking. Been doing much better.
Yeah, And then you got another one here. From Grace Martin. My favorite of all is when Joel's channel is he's camping with Emerald when she says he probably left me.
Yeah. I know exactly what she's talking about. When it's me and Emmy camping together, and she was like 3 years old, and we're playing hide and seek, hiding behind a tree. And she doesn't see me or whatever, and I'm filming, and she comes up, she's like, Dad, he probably left me. And she just like says it to herself, whatever. I'm like, oh my God. I run out with the camera, like, I want to leave you. Like, it's just like so very just pure and cute. Thank you for that memory, Grace Martin. That's very nice. Yes, Emerald's what, 8 years old now, so she's different now, but she's still my little girl. That's for sure.
Dropping Like a Scout says, Joe, you use bunker branding.
Yeah, I do, and I really like them. They're like homemade type thing as opposed to this big conglomerate, like Teespring or what have you.
Someone said something about drunk karaoke. It might be. What did it say? I think you should all do a drunken karaoke. I'd watch it. Maybe.
All right, well, you gotta set that up. I gotta have a free day for the next day, so I don't have to.
Awesome. Yeah, like I said, I appreciate it. I know, especially like I said, Grace Martin, who came from your channel over to my channel, and it was like, I hope to see you guys, do a live or a video together. It'd be awesome. And I was like, you know what? For you, Grace, I'm gonna make it happen. Like I would take my power to make it happen.
Well, no, it's been fun. I'm glad you had me on. We'll have to do it again, but yeah, sure. I will hop off here. You guys have a good night. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks to everyone for tuning in, and I'm sure we'll do it again.
For sure.
Later, Joe.
All right, take care. I'm just gonna be awkwardly trying to figure out how to.
Awkward. Everyone just like look at him as he's leaving.
Stop! Damn it!
End meeting. Just hit end meeting. There you go. It was like me when I had my old computer and I would try to end my live streams, but my computer would take like 10 minutes to load or to end the stream. So it was crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember you doing that a lot of times. How do I get out of here?
It's like I want to end the stream, but it still keeps going. But yeah, no, it's like I said, me and Joe, we've been calling each other and texting, and we've been trying to get this set up. Last week when I had Zachary Fowler on, he was on here with us. He was in the back, like kind of how we just started the live stream out as we're talking as we were going. We was talking behind the live stream, and then all of a sudden his internet cut off. Like he said, he has really bad connection out there. So I am very honored and very blessed to have him be up here on the panel. It was really cool. Like I said, he's the whole reason why I kind of started my channel. He's the one who motivated me when I kind of got into like the whole bushcrafting and camping videos. So very cool. It's someone you idolize, and you see him, and then now he's over here. That's awesome.
Yeah, Colin, I saw that about the chili wine. That looks pretty cool.
And for everyone I missed too, sorry, trying to keep up on the live stream. I have like 2 different windows open. I have to kind of like keep going back and forth to kind of read the live stream. Looks like a really nice guy. Thanks for having him on, guys. Yeah, like I say, Joe's really down to earth, really cool guy. Hopefully you guys got some really good questions. You kind of got to see like a little bit of like who Joe really is outside of like his whole YouTube channel, and just kind of kick back, hang out, and relaxing back here. He answered a lot of us. Yeah, he did. Definitely, from going outside camping to just, being outdoors more, I only used to look at Joe's videos, and then I saw Zach's show. Now I know Tyler and others. I appreciate it, SH. I really do. It's called Hatch. You're good, Tyler. Thank you.
Actually, guys, I got another person that's lined up here. It's going to go to the opposite spectrum of what we're normally used to, and I don't know if we're going to do it on the podcast or we'll do it on one of my lives. But I have New York Prepper. Been talking with him. If you guys don't know his channel, he's already agreed he's going to come up on one of the streams for one night. So we have him lined up, and we got a few others of the homesteading community and the prepping community that are bigger channels that are looking to come up here also. So we are trying to get you guys into more of the bigger realm of things and get you to see other people. So I thank everybody for hanging on with us as we get this thing ironed out, but we've got some really cool guys that are going to be coming up and gals too. So stick around. You're going to see a lot of things happening on here.
Yeah, it's kind of like Joe's hot ones, you know, it's kind of like bringing like name celebrities, you know, bigger YouTubers and stuff, and having them come on, and it just kind of gets like to know like the real side of, you know, not the real side, but you know, just the other side of them you don't get to see really on their channel. Yeah, you know what, Zachary, like I said, I thought I had you as a moderator before too. I don't know why. I just noticed that as I was going through the live stream here.
Oh, he's blue.
Yeah. Yeah, like Mark was saying, we're gonna have other people. New York Prepper is gonna be a really nice one, especially for those who I know there is some people who probably won't be interested in it because, you know, it's kind of on the whole coronavirus, but for those people who do like to stay informed and kind of want to know what's going on, he's kind of like our go-to guy when it comes to updates with the coronavirus, what's happening, what states are being locked down, what to prepare for. I actually look forward to catching a lot of his live streams, so having him up here I think would be really cool. And Mark's working on, like you said, getting some of the homesteaders and on that side of what's, yeah. I'm still kind of like dazed and confused here.
You know, the other thing, you guys, is I'll give you a little hint. So right now, do not put any title that has to do with the virus because automatically YouTube will tank your video. I just learned that recently today from another subscriber of mine who's been texting me, where he has a huge channel and it usually has 160 plus views, 1,000 views on his videos. And when he does anything that has to do with the virus or even mentioning that name, they put it at the bottom of the hill. So if you guys are going to do videos on it, make sure you're talking a roundabout way about it, because if you actually talk about it, YouTube will tank you.
Yeah. And Thomas Jackson, Corporate Corner, and Dave Canterbury, I would love to. The more people I can keep getting on, the more they kind of have a reference and they can go back and check the stream and say, oh, you know, we had Joe on here, or we had Zach on here, or we had Nicholas Green on here. It really helps, you know, build trust for those channels to get on and feel like, you know, they want to be part of something really cool. So I'm definitely in contact with a lot of those channels, like-minded, similar channels. It really helps, you know, if people go on there and kind of, you know, say, hey, you know, you should be on the Wood Bushcraft, not spamming, but, you know, that always helps too. Cause like usually when people want to see two YouTubers do a collab, or in this case, you know, have YouTubers come on a Bushcraft podcast and get to hang out and just kind of see like a different side of things. It really helps to, you know, we have people out there that say, hey, you should go check out this channel and, you know, be part of their Bushcraft podcast. So it's really cool. Like I said, you know, seeing Zach kind of behind the scenes, behind his videos and in a live set where nothing was rehearsed. Like, as you guys heard, like Joe was on like 5 minutes before we actually went live. And I just said, I'm going to ask you a few questions. And he's like, yeah, go for it. So, you know, it wasn't scripted, nothing like that. It probably would have been better if it was, but we'll see. I really want to be a homesteader where just I am in life. No, I had the property I'd want. Yeah, that's my thing too. Like I can't wait until like things start settling down with like all this craziness, because like I really want to get like just, I mean, even a small house with like a lot of land, I'd be like super happy with, for sure.
Drop it like a scout said he would love one day to be on your live stream.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like I said, I will. I mean, if I don't think I have any plans next Tuesday, or maybe even I can't do it this weekend. I usually try to do a live stream during the weekend, but I am going out of town. But if you want to be on next Tuesday, I would be more than happy to have you up here, for sure. ONHOA doesn't allow any animals other than cats and dogs. Plan on doing a video of my French Army Commando tent setup. Awesome, Colin. Yeah, I really like that. Yeah, I hear you, Cliff. I can't afford to buy land. That's the thing, you know, like that's how you make a guy happy. Like it's, you know, a cold beer, a big old fat juicy steak, and a big old plot of land. Like that's the key to happiness, It's like I don't want much. Just big old area I can go and run around in the woods with my axe and my camera, and I'll be happy.
Problem is that with big old land comes big old taxes.
Yeah, for sure. That'll have an unboxing video come soon, I hope. There's a company that reached out to me. I feel bad. I've been putting off, but the Nomadic box company, the subscription box company, I really love their product. I really love their message behind it and why they started their company. I really need to get that video up. I think I'll work on that tonight, and hopefully I'll have that video up for you guys. Really cool stuff in it, and I'm not even going to throw like my affiliate link on there. Like I'm not in it for the money, and I don't want it to seem that way. I like their product. I like their message behind their product. So, yeah, let me screenshot that, drop it like a Scott so I can.
Yeah, Quebec, you know why it's so cheap up there is because you're living on the top of an iceberg.
Very true. I just took it. I took a screenshot that way I don't forget.
I thought I lived where it was cold.
Back down taxes. That's true. When it gets warmer, I want to see Tyler do a kayak overnight video. For sure. Like I said, last year sucked. With the high waters, the river. All I want to do, because I just bought my canoe last year too, and like all I wanted to do was go out and do like a catch and cook, or do like over the weekend canoe trip, and I wanted to float down the river, camp on a sandbar one night, and out in the woods the next. But it's like I couldn't catch a break, like doing construction in the summertime. I work 87 hours a week. I never really had time to go do that on top of family and everything else. So hopefully this year I'll be able to really make that happen. Like that's the plan anyways. Thomas Jackson, do I have a Facebook? I do. It's Tyler Wood Bushcraft. It'll have my logo on there, which reminds me, I did say I was going to, for the Wood Squad, we did make a new logo, and I'll have to pull that up here. Where did I put that logo?
I got it.
The new one?
Yeah, you sent it to me on Facebook.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, pull that up, and I will. Mark will show you guys the new logo I've been working on. Hopefully get some stickers made. It needs a little bit of tweaking, but that way hopefully you guys get a rough idea what it's going to look like. I'll have new merch and stuff out like that. Okay. And I'll be doing a giveaway here soon too. Maybe when I come back from out of town, I'll do a giveaway.
You see it, Tyler?
There you go. That's it. Let me check on YouTube side. Exit full screen. You guys tell me what you guys think of the new logo. It's just an idea. I don't know. I've been thinking about changing or mixing things around. Like I said, we're such an awesome, tight community in here. So, like, we talk about the Wood Squad all the time. That's kind of going to be the logo, unless you guys have a better general idea. I wanted to keep, my logo really simple, kind of like, with the way I have it now. And I even thought about making like a second channel just called like the Wood Squad, where I will create this channel and give everyone, the email and the password to it, and everyone can upload their videos on that, as we're all one big YouTuber for this. I haven't worked out all the details yet, but I think that'd be cool. We're the Wood Squad. So any guys that make videos, let's all put it on that channel. And I think it'd be really cool, Nice. I appreciate it.
Here's some Filmora stuff that I'm working on here. Check this guys out, guys. What do you think of that?
Awesome.
It still ain't working right, but that's kind of what I'm going to try to do with our intros, is have me and you both up there and disappear. But
yeah, it takes time for sure. Nice shooting grade on actual wood. Yeah, that'd be cool. I think I would like to do that, but I was thinking like as far as like like stickers and stuff like that, and being on t-shirts. but yeah, I definitely want to. Like, I think this year I'm gonna try to do that. I'm gonna try to do some like large wood carving for sure. Maybe something like hiking pole and arrow. Like it, awesome. But yeah, it's we'll end up wrapping this up here real soon, guys. It's been fun. Like I said, if you guys have any other suggestions, definitely leave me a comment after this video gets posted, or just leave it on any other video for sure. And I will do my best to get a hold of them. Like I said, working and gaining trust with some of the bigger channels and stuff. That's key to having people come on too. So yeah, for sure. But anything else, Mark?
Nope, that's about it. You guys just be careful out there. Due diligence on what you do, and we can get through this right now. What me and Tyler and some of the other YouTubers are trying to do, just take your mind off of what's going on outside in the world today, because we all know it's crap, and it's getting to the point where there's a lot of stress and anxiety for a lot of people, and we're just trying to make sure that you guys can just come out and chill out and get your mind off of things.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, everyone who turned in, I appreciate it so much. You guys all rock, and we will definitely keep you guys updated, and have a good one, and God bless everyone.
Take care, y'all.